In the blistering heat of Sunset Ridge, Arizona, where cookie-cutter homes baked under the desert sun and everyone pretended harmony reigned, Ryan Caldwell learned the hard way that community standards were just code for control. Ryan was the kind of guy who kept his head down, 42, freelance web designer working from a home office, the type who liked his back lot as a private escape for his workshop and evening beers, not some HOA playground. So when he spotted fresh tire tracks chewing up the dirt behind his shed one Tuesday morning, his stomach twisted. That narrow strip, 20 feet wide and 60 deep, was his. It backed right onto the common walking path, but the deed was crystal clear. He followed the tracks and froze. There it was, a brand new tall black aluminum security gate, bolted into fresh concrete footers, complete with keypad lock, slammed shut right across his only vehicle access. Standing there admiring her handiwork like a queen at a ribbon cutting was Vanessa Harrington, HOA board president, self-appointed enforcer of perfection, and the neighborhood's resident clipboard warrior. "Oh, Ryan, perfect timing," she cooed with that saccharine smile that never reached her eyes, adjusting her oversized sunglasses. The board voted to install enhanced security for the path. Safety first, you know. We can't have just anyone driving back here. Ryan's jaw tightened. "This path runs along my property line, Vanessa. That gate is sitting on my land. You can't just build on someone else's dirt because it suits your agenda." She waved a manicured hand dismissively. "It's barely encroaching, dear. The original plans called it potential green space. The board approved it last month. You weren't using it for anything important anyway." "Important?" Ryan laughed coldly. "Last I checked, barely encroaching isn't a legal term. This is my property. Get it removed." Vanessa clutched her clipboard like a shield. "If you're going to be difficult, we'll have to address this at the next meeting. We're all about community here." "Community doesn't mean stealing land," Ryan shot back, turning away before he lost it. 2 days later, Ryan had his answer ready. He installed a heavy-duty, weatherproof padlock right over their setup. "My land, my rules." It took less than 3 hours for Vanessa to appear, red-faced and flanked by 2 other board lackeys, rattling the bars like a caged animal. "You locked our gate," she shrieked. Ryan leaned against his shed, sipping iced tea. "Your gate? On my property? That's rich. You trespassed, built without permission, and now you're shocked I secured what's mine? The walking path is still accessible. Just take the long way around like everyone else." "You're being petty and divisive," one board member sputtered. "No," Ryan said calmly. "I'm being a property owner. Next time you want to play developer, send a notice first." The board meeting 3 nights later was packed with tension. Vanessa stood at the podium, painting Ryan as the neighborhood menace threatening safety and values. "This strip was always intended as communal space in the original vision," she declared, waving blurry plans. Ryan stood up from the back, unfolding his certified county survey map. "Vision isn't ownership, Vanessa. This map, stamped and legal, shows your gate is 5 feet onto my lot. Here's the cease and desist I'm sending your contractor. Remove it in 14 days or see you in court." Murmurs rippled. Vanessa's face twisted. "This is outrageous harassment." "What's outrageous," Ryan replied with a smirk, "is thinking you could seize land and I'd roll over. The rules you love quoting apply to everyone, including you." The retaliation was swift and predictably petty. Landscapers mysteriously skipped the path behind his property, letting weeds explode. Then came the thick envelope in his mailbox. A $175 fine for failure to maintain community-facing green space, with photos of the exact strip they had gated off. Ryan couldn't help but chuckle darkly at the audacity. They lock him out, then fine him for neglect? Classic HOA logic. He drove straight to the county zoning office and laid everything out for Officer Mike Torres. Photos, surveys, gate location. Torres shook his head. "They're fining you for land they trespassed on and blocked? And no permit for that structure? We'll open an investigation. Don't pay a dime." Armed with that, Ryan dug deeper. He pulled original development docs showing his parcel was never common area. Old-timer neighbor Frank, a retired engineer, provided a sworn statement recalling the developer specifically excluded the strip due to drainage issues. Ryan mounted a motion camera behind the shed. The footage was gold. 3 days later, a man in an HOA vest bolt-cutting Ryan's lock in broad daylight. Sheriff's deputy arrived fast. After reviewing evidence, he marched to Vanessa's McMansion. "Ma'am, cutting a private lock without permission is criminal mischief. You're coming in for questioning. Neighbors watered lawns extra slow, phones out. Vanessa's husband blustered, but she went pale seeing Ryan across the street. This is ridiculous. We've maintained that area for years. Maintenance doesn't include forgery or theft, the deputy said flatly. Ryan uploaded time-stamped stills to the neighborhood app. The comments exploded. Is the HOA breaking into homes now? Petitions for a recall vote circulated. But the real explosion came from the county. The gate was unpermitted. Worse, investigators subpoenaed emails revealed Vanessa's plot. If we quietly revise the boundary map and file it, that strip becomes utility space. Ryan seems passive. He won't notice until it's too late. Ryan's attorney filed for injunction and fraud complaint. State investigators uncovered similar scams on 2 other properties, misused funds for the $8,000 gate, and attempts to backdate docs. At the emergency meeting, Vanessa was absent. The interim board squirmed as Ryan spoke. This stopped being about a gate the moment they decided rules were for thee, not for me. They didn't just want control, they wanted to erase ownership with a pen. Applause thundered. Recall passed overwhelmingly. Weeks later, as officials jackhammered out the concrete footers under court order, Vanessa was arrested outside her home on charges of falsifying records, conspiracy to commit property fraud, and misappropriation of funds. The photos of her in cuffs spread like wildfire. The HOA charter was dissolved by vote. A city oversight committee took over, mandating transparency. Ryan secured a permanent easement, planted privacy hedges, and placed a simple sign. Private property. No exceptions. He went back to his quiet life, but the neighborhood was transformed, residents engaged, rules fair. The ultimate irony? The woman who screamed loudest about order created the biggest chaos, burying herself under the very regulations she weaponized. In the end, the desert winds swept away the last dust of that gate, leaving Ryan's land truly his again. True or false? The HOA claimed they were protecting the community from chaos, but weren't they the ones who proved that unchecked power is the real neighborhood destroyer, and got the karma they richly deserved? What do you think? Who is truly abusing authority here?